It's heyday, it's heyday, it's heyday, so come and play.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jennifer, and here on YouTube, I go by GizmoSpike. So, even though we have had two themed derbies in a row, or special derbies, as most of us like to call them, it looks like this upcoming week is also going to be another themed derby, and it is going to be the mystery derby, as I can already tell, just by looking at the horseshoe with the question mark inside of it. So I am going to click on the little eye that will bring us to show us more information about the upcoming derby. And as you can see there on the screen, special derby rules. This derby is a mystery derby. Expect the following changes from a normal derby. Special 400-point mystery tasks on the derby board. The mystery task reveals itself when you take it. The mystery task can be any existing derby task. Okay, so for those of you who have never played a mystery task before, and I'm currently being climbed on by Prim right now, who doesn't normally sit in my lap, but she's sitting in my lap. Anyway, for those of you who have never taken a mystery task before, or a mystery derby before, what it is you will have your derby board, and the derby board will be filled with, well, it'll be filled with regular tasks, but it will also be filled with, some of the tasks will be squares, and they will just be purple question marks. And you won't know what that task is until you click on it and you take it. So once you take the task, then it will reveal itself and it will tell you what it is that you have to do. So basically in this video, I just kind of want to give my tips and my opinion of what you should do in order to have a successful mystery derby. Now, I will first say that this is actually my favorite of all of the derbies. I'm obsessed with the mystery derby. I absolutely love it. Like, I can't even get enough of it. I wish that we would have it once a month. It would be amazing. All right, so the tasks can be anything that is ever a task in any derby. However, that being said, it does seem like the mystery derby favors certain tasks more than others. There will almost definitely be a lot of town tasks. So either having to, just collect X amount of people from your town, or it will make you collect, X amount of a specific townsperson, like 7 of the masters or the teachers, etc. Or it could also request for you to collect X amount of people from the grocery store or the diner, etc. So you do want to make sure that your town is fully served. In my opinion, that makes the mystery derby extremely, extremely easy for the town wise, because if you get a town task, you will almost always be able to complete it very quickly. Now, sure, you might get one for the teacher and then only have a couple of teachers in there because maybe you have a whole ton of, the masters ready or whatever. But okay, so fine. That kind of sucks. You collect who you have for the teacher and then you send a few away so you can collect more teachers to serve them. But usually having a fully stocked town is the way to go. All right, so you're also going to have boat tasks as a possibility. Now, usually with the mystery tasks, they are going to be easier than a normal task. So instead of having to do 4 boats, which you would normally have to do for a 320-point task, you might only have to do 2. So that's really good. Other tasks that you might see are going to be some crop tasks, which are, going to be anything from wheat and corn to pumpkin. The dreaded strawberry is usually in there. So just keep in mind that, like I said, you're not going to know what that task is before you take it, and it is very possible that you'll get a strawberry task. Another popular task that usually come up are the collecting from the animals. So like collecting a certain amount of eggs, or unfortunately collecting from the goats. I hate that one. I've gotten that one before. It does kind of suck, but it's fine. Just, you just got to deal with it if you get it. And then like the other animal feeding ones where if you have to collect like X amount from all of the animals, stuff like that. Fishing is almost always on there as well. And then, sometimes you do have some of your production type tasks where, it'll want you to do X amount of the woolly hats plus some fishing pounds and some candle or some of the blackberry muffins or something like that. But usually I feel like the mystery derbies are not usually very heavy on production tasks. So hopefully this time is the same. Hopefully it's not, but anyway, okay. So like I said, one of the things that is good about it is that usually whatever the task is that you get is usually easier than it would normally be at a regular 320. Like I said, example already was boats, instead of it being 4, is 2. For the fishing, instead of having to do like 100 and something pounds of fish, you might only have to do 90, stuff like that. So they're usually a little bit easier than the regular 320. All right, so how to prepare for a mystery derby. In addition to what I've already talked about the town, making sure your town is fully served. Now, there is another way to play the town, which a friend of mine in the game, she likes to do, is she doesn't have her town completely fully served. She has her town served to about 30 people. She keeps those in there, and then she's able to pick up another like 12 or 10 with her personal train, so that she can sort of keep a revolving door in the town and they don't just sit there. So if you don't like the idea of just having your townies sitting there in your town, not being worked on, not getting the XP and the gifts and stuff like that, that is another option. Because you can hold, if your town hall is maxed out, this is based on if you are a maxed out town hall and you have all your slots open in all of your buildings. You could do it where you keep about 30 people in there, and then you send your personal train, which if you're maxed out on that, gets you 10. And then you can, revolving door around that as well. So that is another option to do your town if you don't want your town to just sit there. I prefer the first way that I spoke about. I'd rather have as many people available as possible, but the other way is also a really, really, really good way of playing it. Okay, so the tips on how to do this. Your machines should be empty. Do not go in and fill your ice cream maker with chocolate ice cream, because if you click on that task and all of a sudden you get a vanilla ice cream task, you are out of luck for a lot of hours. So you want to make sure that when you take a task, your machines are empty. So don't fill anything. I know it's kind of not a too great of a way to play, especially if you like to keep your machines going at all times, but at least for this week, I would highly suggest that you do not keep your machines fully stocked. Sugar, one thing, your dairy, things like that, you're fine with. Your bakery and the short-term products, putting bread in there or something like that, that's fine. But don't go ahead and fill your ice cream maker with, chocolate ice cream, or your juicer with apple juice, because you might get cherry. So, all right. Then another one is you want to make sure that you are stocked up on lures. If you do get that fishing task, you want to make sure that you have as many lures as possible so you can get that task done as soon as possible. Then this is a huge one, especially with the goats and the sheep. Guys, do not collect from your goats or your sheep, even maybe your pigs, unless you get that feed task. Because if you get that goat task and you just collected from your goats, you're going to have to wait 12 hours before you can collect from those goats again. And that's going to be terrible. You may not even finish that goat task in time. So please, this is really good advice. Do not collect from those goats. If you use Rose, turn her off or change her to something else. Change her to eggs or cows, which is the shorter one, but you're not super in trouble with if you just harvested your cows and you get a milk task. Make sure your animal feed is stocked up on. So if you do get that feed task, you've got plenty of goat feed, or if you get that overall animal task, like for all of the animals, you got lots of chicken, you got lots of cow, etc. Plus this way too, if you're stocked up and someone in your neighborhood gets unlucky enough to get the same task 2 times in a row, like a feed task, and they're out of feed, then you can throw some feed their way, or vice versa. So, and then as far as your crops go, your fields, do not put any long-term crops in your fields either. You can do like wheat and corn and, carrots. I mean, even soybean and sugarcane, that's fine. Don't put an entire field of, indigo, and then all of a sudden you get a strawberry task, which is already going to take you forever to do. So you want to make sure that your fields are basically only short-term crops are growing in them this week. All right, and then last but not least, which this is kind of a hard one to follow, but I would think twice about taking a task right before you go to bed or right before you go to work or like go to do something else. Because if you take it, let's say you take a task right before you go to bed and you get eggs, you're not going to be able to do that. You're going to have to stay up or that task is going to expire because you only have, what is it, usually 6 hours to harvest eggs. So I would definitely, if you're like me, I usually do kind of take a chance right before I go to bed. But I do have in the back of my mind that if I get a task that requires my full attention for a little while, I may have to stay up later. But not everybody can do that, especially if you have to go to work in the morning and you got to go to sleep. So I would definitely maybe not take a task any less than, I don't know, maybe 2 hours before you have to go to bed or go to work or have other obligations. So that's definitely a big one for sure. I've had neighbors succumb to that. I remember specifically there was one of my neighbors, she's still in my neighborhood. She was just about to go to work and she took a task and it was actually eggs. And she was like, Jen, I'm sorry, it's going to expire. Like I don't have the ability to play this game at work. So, and I mean, it is what it is. So that is definitely something to think about. So anyway, that is my strategy for the Mystery Derby. If there's anything that I missed that you think that I should have added, go ahead and leave a comment and let me know, hey Jen, you didn't talk about this. And I will see about, I'll either add it to the comments. I won't edit the video, but I'll at least, update the comments or something like that with it. So definitely comment below, please, if there's anything that I missed. And I would love to know what you guys think about the Mystery Derby. I think most of us like it, but if you don't like the Mystery Derby, I would love to hear from you actually. So if you don't like it, please comment below and let me know. Let me know why you don't like it if you don't like it. All right, you guys. Well, I hope this video was helpful. Remember, if you are not already subscribed to my channel, it is free to subscribe to a channel on YouTube, and it'll make me very, very happy. So hit that beautiful red subscribe button. And remember, weeding is life. Happy farming. Peace.
It's heyday. It's heyday. It's heyday. So come and play.